Well, John, they don't get much tougher than Bradford City at this level. What's going to be the secret to getting a result against a side who are really, really in form?
Yeah, they've been informed. They've also had periods where they haven't been informed, haven't they? So, you know, that's the nature of this league at the moment. And they've got into a groove where they're comfortable in the style that they're playing. They've got experienced players who know the league, who can compete in the league, and that's sometimes a recipe for success. And they've got to keep it going. You know, if they're going to get promoted automatically. I've said this from day one. We don't fear anybody at home. We'll be going all out to win. We'll respect what they've got to offer. And we know what they've got to offer is a lot, but you know, if we get it right, we can offer a lot as well.
Housekeeping, really. Do you welcome anybody back into the squad? Any selection headaches? Colin Masterson, Bradley Dacker are in there?
Yeah, there's always selection headaches. You know, the harsh reality is, you know, let's get it straight. 1 win in 11 is nowhere near good enough. Nowhere near good enough. So I accept that, you know, fully. I think the students of form and the people who watch every game will have seen an improvement in the way we've played, in the effort, the passion, the fact that we are making more chances. But that will count for nothing if you don't win games, because winning games of football is the currency that drives people on, and so it should be, really. So don't be making excuses for winning games, just try your hardest to win more games. And I've said this from day one, there's so many variables in football that it's difficult, but other teams do it, so why can't we? So we've got to just focus on trying to win. Yeah, it's nice if you can play better football. You know, I watched the game back several times from Tuesday. First one, 7 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday morning, having got in at 3:30. And you know, after the game, I thought we'd played some decent football when I got asked after the game, and when I look back at some of our play wasn't very good. In fact, it was poor. Some good passing movements, but generally poor. Defensively, as a team, as an 11, we were too wide open. Made basic errors that have got to be eliminated. And it was a game that, the way it panned out, we could have really got something out of the game if we hadn't have surrendered the goals as easily as what we did. So again, there's no excuses. That's down to us. That's down to us to work hard on the training ground to get that right, to get the selection process right, to get the players that I feel are up for the game at any given day. So that's down to me. Hopefully we'll improve. You know what? The big disappointing thing about Tuesday was that for 3 of the previous 4 games we've defended really, really well. With that same back 3, and we defend as an 11, and as an 11 we've defended well. You know, you got Nev blocking them off the line against Crew, so you know, everyone chips in. I just thought on Tuesday we lost our way quite quickly, and we never really regained the composure that we've shown in recent weeks. That's a disappointment, but on the plus side, we know we are capable of getting it in the right direction, and that's what we've got to do on Saturday. We've got to go out there believing that whatever side gets picked, they're there to do a job, and they'll be supported by everybody who's in the changing rooms.
John, appreciate it. Thank you. Ben Watts.
John, you mentioned the results, and I guess so far you've opted to be quite consistent with your lineups. You do have a big squad here. Is the temptation to make changes, and I guess maybe with more the attacking end of the pitch, you know, to chuck guys in and see if they can spark something?
Yeah, possibly, because you're not scoring yet. There's a temptation there. It depends on how you look at the players coming in. Are they ready? Are they motivated? Will they make a big difference? You know what? We haven't scored enough goals, probably for 2 seasons. Certainly since I've came, we definitely haven't scored enough goals. And so we've got to address that. But you know, we've played a system where we've got 3 strikers on the pitch, we've got 2 playing up top and 1 playing behind, and you get criticised if you play a striker in midfield when you get beat. So, we have to be cautious for cautious. We have to think what's going to be right on the day, and you could. I think looking back, I probably could have made a couple of substitutions on Tuesday. Possibly wouldn't have affected the game, but it would have got minutes into people's legs. But when people are clamouring for substitutions, they think that it's already worked, it's already successful. So when you don't make a sub, well, if you'd have made a sub, this would have happened, this would have happened, this would have happened. There's no guarantee of that. And, I've learned that the hard way over the years. And with a settled team, they get to know each other playing better. So I'm not for 1 second saying I'll play the same team on Saturday. But when you play a settled team, they get to know each other. They know how each other plays. They can be more proactive than reactive because they get a handle on it where people are going to go on the pitch. So there's pluses and minuses. The argument for freshening it up is that you got players coming in who haven't played a lot of games, who are fresh, who might have a bit of spark about them. And when you haven't been scoring goals, that is a temptation.
I was going to say, what does a Jaden Clark or a Jacob Wakeling, a Johnny Williams, Dom Corness, etc. have to do to get a chance like that then?
Be patient and accept that they're being patient. And that means coming in every day and doing your job, which they do, not knocking any of them. But when you're in the dressing room, you've got to be positive, even when you're not playing, which is difficult. But you have to be positive, you have to be a good influence on the dressing room. You have to be driving in the right direction as everybody else and pulling in the right direction, and even if you're not playing, the will to win's got to shine through everybody at the club. And that's how you build successful teams. And we'll carry on trying to create that at the school.
How frustrating has it been? Because, like you say, since you've come in, there's plenty of things that you've improved and feels like you've got right, but it hasn't resulted in the end outcome that you're after.
It's frustrating. Some of it's down to luck, not all of it. Definitely a lot of it's down to refereeing decisions, but I haven't bemoaned and I'm not going to go down that road. But sometimes the ball doesn't just drop for you, and you just have to keep going and going and going until you get it right. Now you look at the spell Bradford was going through. November, they dropped out of the playoffs. They went 6 or 7 points, or 3 or 4 points out of the playoffs. I think by Boxing Day they were 12th. So they've stuck at it, and they're getting the rewards. You've got to play a style of football that you think can win you games. At this moment in time, I think we're caught in the anxiety of winning games and playing with a freedom, and then we can go in the opposite direction what we did Tuesday night and be far too open, as they were as well. It was far too much of an open game, and so you've got to be very philosophical about how you play the game. So you got to keep yourselves in the game and then look to get your openings and make the most of your opportunities. We're getting more and more opportunities. The more opportunities you get, the more chance you're going to get a score. Tuesday, a classic example. We're 1-0 down and we do a marvellous bit of football. Joe gets the ball down, which we know he's good at. Plays out wide to Hutz, takes his man on, gets a great crossing. Jimmy makes a great run, great leap. Gets there. He's done everything. We've done all the hard part, what is the easy part, but it's not. It's probably the most difficult. He's put the ball in the net and he heads it over the bar. They score from that goal kick. And that's the fine lines in football. Instead of 1-1, everyone's up for the game, we've equalised, we're on the front foot, we're in the ascendancy. You're 2 down, chasing the game. Then you get more wide open, you get picked off again, 3-0. So, you can damage yourself. But if you can try and stay in the game and and try and be tight when you have to be tight and expansive when you have to be expansive, and get the players to understand that they've got to be able to spot that themselves. You know, we can spot it on the sideline, we shout on, but it's very difficult to communicate when there's a crowd, basically. And so they've got to be able to see that, and we've been through the videos and tried to show them areas that we can definitely improve. And there was some good passing moves, and we've got players who can pass the ball. You know, and I think Jimmy getting off the mark with a goal that'll do him the world of good as well. And we've just got to get the feel-good factor that we had last Saturday, and we've got to times that by about 4 with our performance. I think we've got to up our performance, because you know we had a winning performance against Morecambe and we thoroughly deserved to win, but we could have played a lot better. I thought we were very, very anxious, very nervous. We've got to use the crowds who were magnificent against Morecambe. They were definitely a big part of the reason that we won, and we have to use that next week and not alienate them with as stale a performance as what we did on Tuesday night.
Often Gills seem to raise their game when they come up against, you know, the teams that are going well in the league, and Walsall perhaps an example of that. Is there a hope that, you know, against Bradford that they might be able to do that again on the weekend?
I don't want to hope. I want it to be a given that that's what we're going to do. So hope doesn't come into the equation. We've got to raise our game. We've got to start becoming accountable for our results now. So the performances are improving yet, so now we've got to take that to the next level. And we've got to take it to the next level. The next level is winning games. It's all right playing well and competing well and showing passion and drive and determination, but you've got to, that's not enough if you don't win. So you don't want to be the plucky underdog who goes put him up and gets knocked out. We don't want to be that, and we don't want to be an underdog. You know, there's no reason why we should be fearing Bradford coming to Priestfield. No way on earth should that faze us in any way, shape or form. Now you can say, well, perception will alter that because of the positions in the league. Gillingham are a big club, and we've got to start acting like a big club on the pitch.
And what would a win on Saturday do you think, for the group and the trajectory of the season perhaps?
I think it'd be massive for us. I think it'd be massive for the fans as well. But any win, it doesn't matter who you're playing against. Any win takes a lot of hard work, takes a lot of thought, and you know we do plan well for it. We've just got to, I think we've got to implement the plan and execute the plan a little bit better. Take responsibility. The players have got to take responsibility for their actions and their performances, and the duty of care that they've got for the fans.
And like you say, you know, the currency of football is winning, isn't it? And for yourself, assuming you do want the job beyond the summer, it's about getting those wins, isn't it?
Well, it is, you know. Listen, people can say what they like about me. You know, I'm Jimmy. We'll give our all. It's difficult because when you've only got the job to the end of the season of actually stamping your authority and your mark on a team, you know. So it is difficult that way. But we knew that when we came in. So there's no bleating about that. There's no moaning about that. We knew the landscape when we come in. And 1 win in 11 isn't good enough. And you know, you don't have to tell me that. I know that. And I'm not trying to hide behind that. So we've got to win. For my own sake, really, for mine and Jimmy's own sake, and for our own sanity. You know, that's not a good enough performance for any manager if you're not winning games. And you've got to accept you're responsible for a big part of that, not all of it, but for a big part of it. And there's reasons that, you know, I think if you stripped it all away and you dispassionately looked at every game we've played between when we first came and Tuesday night, we probably should have won 4, maybe 5, but we haven't. And so what do? Do you moan, oh well, we should have won, and curl up in the ball? Well, you know, you've got to stick your chest out. We can win games. We're capable of winning games. We've had teams on the back foot plenty of times this season. We've had things go against us that maybe shouldn't have, but they're all gone now. It's what you're going to do going forward, and we've got to stick our chest out, and we've got to go into that game believing we're going to win. And you've got more chance of winning when you do that than if you think, well, I hope we can compete. No, that's not the case. We're Gillingham Football Club. playing at home in front of a big crowd who will be very supportive and very keen for us to win. So we've got to do the next step and win, basically.
And just finally, I think I might know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Full focus for you on
16. oh, sorry.
Full focus for you on Gills in terms of being in charge between now and the end of the season. They're not part of you sort of seeing that vacancy at Tranmere Rovers, and obviously your geography and where's home and thinking about that.
No, I've got a job to do in a really, really good club that I'm really enjoying, apart from when we lose. I am enjoying it, and working for good people. So that's all your focus can be on. And I know I'm good at my job. I know the results haven't said that, but I know myself and Jimmy are good at what we do. We want now the results to start reflecting that, and at this moment in time, we haven't.
Best of luck for trying to do that.
Thank you.
You must be looking forward to the summer and hoping that you can stay in this job, because there's an exciting challenge there too. It
is, of course it is. It's a great club, and so yeah, there'll be some work, a lot of work to be done. And I've always been one of them managers. I don't really have the summer off. And when you go on family holidays, you find that you get sidetracked very, very often. But that's the nature of the beast, and you're either in or you're not. And I don't believe in doing things half measures. So yeah, summer's great. The sun's shining like it is today. By the way, it's beautiful and sunny today. But hard work has to be done, and whoever's manager or whatever I am, I'll always be doing working as hard as I can.
And obviously it's results driven, isn't it? So a lot of people just look at the results and say,
Of course they will. Of course they will. So, if tomorrow was the last day of the season and you're trying to get a job, and the perception then is, well, the fans, you're giving it to a fella who's won 1 and 11. What kind of that's looking forward? Now, sometimes you have to see past that. Sometimes you have to see, well, are the club going in the right direction? Are the players playing the way Gillingham players should play? If we're getting that right, will the results follow? Then it's always a risk whenever you appoint anybody or whenever you sign anybody. But you have to take a lot of more factors in than just results, although I'm wise enough to know that that's not always the case, and it's definitely not the case with perception, and particularly perception of fans, because they see the hard currency, and the hard currency is points and wins and goals.
There's plenty of opportunity ahead, isn't there? Still 12 games, still plenty of points.
Oh, there's plenty of points, but they quickly go. Them games quickly disappear if you don't perform. And we've got to be mindful of that the opportunities to score goals. One of my big things, I want us to score more than 1 goal in a game. That will drive me insane until we do, because I've been used to it happening so often. It's frustrating, and the players have got to want that. The players have got to want, the players have got to want to get an early goal, like go and get another one, like teams do when they win games.
And Bradford have shown what happens when it does click. I mean, since December, they've been on a fantastic run.
Yeah, they're always capable of coming to an end. Fantastic runs. Hopefully, we'll put an end to that on Saturday.
Good luck.
Thank you.
You said when comment about not scoring enough goals the last 2 or 3 years. If you were looking from the outside, would that surprise you if nothing had been done about it?
Yeah, sometimes you can sign players who you think will deliver the goals, and for whatever reason they don't drop into the system that you're playing, or it just doesn't quite work for them. So, if you look at a case point, an example, Elliot Never's had 2 good seasons of scoring goals. So he signs for Gillingham and I think he's only scored a couple now this season. And there might be 101 reasons for that. It might be luck, it might be down to moving so far in the country, it might be turn your phone off. All different things.
No, the manager doesn't get a fine, it's only us.
No, there be all different. There can be a lot of different things, and that doesn't make Elliot never a bad player. You've seen the way he works. You've seen how the effort he puts in. You've seen how unlucky he's been hitting the other side of the bar, getting a wicked deflection, getting another wicked deflection, hit someone on the knee. Things sometimes have a habit of just not going for it, and all of a sudden it can change. And you know, people do try to get what they think's the best option at the time. If you look now and you said to me today, right, you can go and sign anybody you want out of League Two who's going to guarantee you goals. Who could you hang it at on? You know, lads are having purple patches at the moment. Mightn't have them next year, and that's what you in the lower leagues. That's what you're plagued with. You know, you're not going out and signing a Haaland or a Salah, or you know, an Isaac. You're not signing these players. You're signing players who are making the way in the game, and they are going to be inconsistent, and that's why they're playing in League Two and not playing in the Champ. Because if someone was guaranteed to score goals, and they do it once in League Two, and people think, yeah, he'll score regular, he'll miss out League Two and League One, he'll be in the Champ. So you'd have to work with the players that you've got, and you'd have to try and improve them, and you'd have to try and educate them a little bit. But what they've done in the past to get them here, and I quote Elliot as an example, you've got to try and foster that belief in them, and the feel-good factor of what it feels like to score a goal, and encourage them, and you've got to provide them with more chances. So the big thing that stops people scoring goals is the lack of chances, and that's what I think has plagued Gillingham for quite a while. And certainly in the early games that we played, we were making 2 or 3 as opposed to 8 or 9, and that's the difference between scoring goals and not scoring goals, in my opinion.
How pleased were you for Saturday afternoon, 5 o'clock?
Saturday was a relief, yeah. For my own peace of mind, I can't say I was happy, because I said this after the game. Relief is a totally different emotion from happiness. It might get blurred, but I was really relieved, and I was relieved for the fans as well, because you know, it must be difficult to keep going to the well, keep churning your money out, keep hoping that today's going to be the day. And so for them to stick with us so long, it's admirable. You have to try and repay people who do that for you. I'm desperate to repay them. I know the players are now. So we've got to keep going, and we've got to try and feed on that emotion that we showed at the end of the game last week. We've got to want that again. We've got to want that relationship again, that camaraderie with the fans. We've got to crave that tomorrow, on Saturday. And you're only doing that by winning basically, but by working hard and giving yourselves a chance to win.
You talk right at the top, excuse me, you talk right at the top about having more or less a full squad now to choose from. Does it feel like you've got some new players? Because people like Conor Masters and Johnson play.
Yeah, it is. It is like getting about 5 or 6 new signings, to be honest. And you've got to manage when you feel as though it's the right time to put them in. And you know, I'll go back to saying I have generally operated on sell sides in the past. That doesn't mean I will. You know, you've got to be flexible as a football manager. If you're not, you quickly become stereotyped. You quickly become easy to read. So you have to be flexible in your approach. You have to play the system that you've got the players for, rather than try and make players fit into a system. And then, you know, the longer you plan, the longer your term planning is, the more you'll plan to play a system, rather than fit players into what the system that you've got to play with. Thank you.